Liyen,
Hi, thank
you.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Jojo, for that kind introduction. Now, ladies and gentlemen, fellow colleagues and friends watching in, that is really true because I never imagined, from a background of teaching and training to be where I am today, wearing the shoes of an entrepreneur. I am so thankful for this Market Singapore, Market America, Market Australia journey that has truly transformed my entire life. So today I'm going to talk about something that's very fundamental. In fact, it's one of the first fundamentals that you can think about when you build a business like ours. And in fact, it also applies to your life journey. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the right attitude. So with that, let me share a little story to begin my presentation. I'm going to begin with the story of Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl is a very famous psychiatrist, from Austria. And in this photo that you see, he was just very newly married and has got big dreams to change the world. But it wasn't too long after he got married that he was actually captured by the Nazi soldiers because at that point in history, Hitler was out to exterminate all the Jews. He wants to terminate the entire Jewish race. And in that period of time during the Holocaust, some 6 million Jews were killed during that time. So when he was captured, it was like such it was a very, very sad day. And you know what the Nazi soldiers would do to them in the concentration camps? They actually torture them, abuse them, do whatever they could, and put them in gas chambers and ultimately kill them. And so it was one day that he was working in the trenches with all his mates, digging up through the snow, the hard, icy snow that was in the ground. And he was just thinking, when he looked out, he saw gray skies. It was the period, it was just dawn at that time, so the skies were not yet lit up yet. And he saw gray skies, he saw gray snow because it was still dark. He saw gray rags that they were wearing. And his whole disposition was, it was a very dismal picture. And that was when he questioned the meaning of his suffering. Why is he going through this? And out of that, he saw light. There was a glimmer of light from a distant farmhouse. And that was when he realized he's got a purpose. There is a reason for what he was going through. And so what he did was he realized that, and what gave him hope was also this picture of love. He was imagining his wife, his newly wedded wife, on a garden swing at home. And he was just thinking about the life that he was going to build with her. He was thinking about his purpose, the books that he wanted to write, how he wanted to change the world. And that brought him great help. So if you take a look at this, out of those concentration camps with the barbed wire, it was really dismal, but he had a hope. He had a reason to live and he had a purpose. So if I take a look at this is what he wrote in a book called Man's Search for Meaning. After he got out of the concentration camps and he survived, he wrote many, many books. But one of the most well-read books is this Man's Search for Meaning. So on one end of this spectrum is this word called stimulus. All of us are subjected to different kinds of stimuli. It could be a difficult circumstance. It could be an abusive childhood that you had, abusive spouse, whatever difficulties that you have, whatever conflict, whatever fear. That is the stimulus all of us as human beings would achieve. On the other end of the spectrum, all right, on the right-hand side is this word called response. The response will indicate where you would go. In between these two is this word called choice. Now, how are you going to make up your difficulty, your difficult circumstance, to get the response that you want in life? It's all a matter of choice. And so he says it's not freedom from conditions, but it is freedom to take a stand towards those conditions that count. And he says this at the end of his prison term. He says, they can take everything from me, but my attitude. So it was his attitude that got him to where he is, and he's a very, very successful psychiatrist and contributing a lot to the entire world. It all comes down to choice. Now, it is always so easy to make excuses and have a pity party. You know, you will say all kinds of reasons why you're not successful today in this unfranchised business and why it is so difficult to even start building this business. Yes, I can think of that too. If you consider my situation when I first arrived into Australia and embarked on this journey, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any families. You know, I didn't have money. Seriously, I didn't have money. Even that $600 to invest in a business was something I had to think very hard about, you know, and so no money, no friends, you know, and that was where I started. When I look back and I talk of people putting, you know, their friends on a possibility list, I wonder whether any friend of mine at that time, if they're in the business, would have put me down as one of those, okay, because I wasn't a candidate for success, if you want to take a look at that. No business experience as well. So what happens is that when you stop blaming and accept responsibility, you will shift from being a victim to a victor. I think it's no coincidence that Viktor Frankl, you know, has a name like that, Viktor Frankl, because he is a victor. So let it go. Unless, all right, that you're brave enough to let go of your past and face your future, then are you free to live in the present. The future is dictated by what you do today. So today is a very important day in the unfranchised business for you and also for me. There will never be a right time. If you're looking for a time, I've talked to many people and they say, oh, you know something, I'm so busy at work now. I don't think I can start this. Oh, my children are still young. I need to look after them first. You know, you can think of many, many excuses why today is not the right day. But there'll never be a right time. You must create that time, and then greatness will follow. I look at this very fondly. This is from our senior executive vice president, Lauren Reidinger, and this was during our recent convention in America. She says that Market America is set up to battle the toughest of circumstances. And we have demonstrated to you that we do. When the whole world, you know, they were canceling all the events worldwide, you know, a famous musician, a famous concert that was coming up, everything has been canceled. But we decided that we'll never stop the unfranchised spirit. We'll continue our conventions. And that's why in September, we had an online convention. She also says, why are we so successful? Because we have the unfranchised system and revolutionary products. So if you have an idea, all right, and if you don't act upon it, what will happen? It will just occupy that little brain cell. So attitude compels action. So the first thing we need to do is to reprogram our minds. Things just don't happen. It has to start with an intention. So what is your intention today? I like it whenever I hear, you know, I hear like when I go in Miami or whenever I listen to our founder, James Reidinger, he calls himself a brain surgeon. And very often when he travels, he will have people sitting, you know, next to him, exchanging occupations. And when he was asked what he does, you know, he said, I'm a part-time brain surgeon. And he says, you know, our business requires knowledge, belief, the right mindset set to be conditioned and programmed. And if you do this, he says he can make you a hopeless success. Would you like that today? I surely would. So it all starts with an attitude. So instead of seeing challenges as obstacles for your growth, look at it as opportunities to grow and to mature. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I can. Do you know if a person say, I can't, he's right. And if the same person say, I can, he's right as well. It all depends on the mind frame and the attitude that you have, whether you can or you cannot. But when you say you can, you're halfway there already. So let's say we can do it. As a man thinketh in his heart, as my favorite book says, so is he. Everything starts with here. Okay, so visualize only what you want to happen. I remember that when I was living in Australia and when I saw this business, I saw how exciting it is. And I thought, there's something that I want for my homeland, and that is Singapore, right? And so my heart's desire was to have, and I had this dream, as the song goes, I have a dream, a song to sing. I really had this dream. I'll wake up and think of Market Singapore, Market Malaysia. That would be so good. I say, so cool. And I went ahead. I even bought a domain name. Long before anybody thought of Market Singapore, I bought a domain name called marketsing.com because I visualized it to happen. And I dreamt about it. I dreamt about a convention like this that would take place in Singapore. I dreamt about the reality of our showroom with all the products. I dreamt of a country manager and the entire corporate team. And everything came true because there was visualization and because there was vision. So I want you to take hold of your vision and your dream. Don't ever let it go. So goals give you direction. It helps you. Don't let anyone or anything steal your dreams away. Today, I'm really baffled because a lot of us, hold very close to our wallets. We hold close to our credit cards, and our phones are so precious. We won't let anybody steal it away. But I have seen many people have their dreams robbed out of them, of their very existence. I remember a dear friend who came to me. She used to teach in a university with me, and I shared with her the business plan. She got so excited. She went home and she started talking to a 16-year-old son. And the next thing I knew was that she said, I changed my mind. And then another one that I had was a Chinese teacher. And she even registered her business after she listened to Stacy Tung, because I brought her to see Stacy, one of the most powerful ladies we have in the business. And she registered. But after talking to her daughter, she came back and her daughter said, Mom, if you really want to buy anything, I will help you. Don't get into this business. And with that, she canceled her account. I think about that with sadness because I think they would be so successful if they only had taken hold of their own dreams and don't let somebody steal their dreams away. So always remember the why that you are in the business. Every time when you do a calling, if there's any time left, I suggest that we get our business owners, business partners to re-examine the why they're in the business again. A mission can be impossible, but that mission can also be possible if you just break down the word impossible and say, I am possible, instead of using the word impossible. Do you like this picture? I do. I like an umbrella. Umbrella gives us shelter. But can you see all the no, 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 all dropping onto the umbrella? I can tell you that that has happened to me many, many times. The very first week when I was in the business, I was so excited, so enthusiastic. I got to everybody I knew, not many people, maybe about 20 over friends I had, because I've lost touch with them for 10 years, coming back to a new country. I called every one of them and not a single one of them is in the business today. How sad, right? But we need to embrace the right posture. We don't need a lot of people in our business. That's the good part about it. You have 2 leaders, and Dennis Franks talked today about 4 leaders. You can become a very successful entrepreneur. Now, if everyone that you talk to says yes, how are you ever going to manage? So it is like a sieve, the sieve that will bring you the best from the rest. So it's okay when people say no. It only makes you stronger, right? So rejection is very much a part of the game, but it is okay. It's all right. We can move on. Doesn't really matter. And think about it. If everybody embarks on this 2 to 3 year plan, then what's going to happen to the world? Everybody will be not working. They will choose whatever working hours they want. And then, there are some people who who needs to be in the 45-year plan. So it's okay. It's all a matter of postures. So don't get personal. It's not about you. All right. Many times it's things happening in their lives, and it's all about timing. I do remember that, 2 years ago when I had a little Christmas party at home, I had one lady who was very excited after the party. And then she called me later on to say she wasn't keen and not ready. And just about a week ago, she called up to say, "Hey, Liyen, I'm ready now. Tell me what it takes." So sometimes it just needs a little bit more of cultivation. Thus, the science of self-talk is very important. Okay, saying is believing. It helps us to like ourselves, to love our bodies, and allow us to chase our dreams. It even helps us to make us more successful. So if your dream is to be a director, then get up every morning and say, "Good morning, Director Liyen." And my next level is, takes a little bit of mouthful, Executive Field Vice President. Then I have to get up in the morning and say, "Good morning, Executive Field Vice President," because talking about it will make it a reality sometime. The most powerful words you hear are the words that you say to yourself. So just listening to the ABC, just I think about a couple of days ago, it talks about a nursing home. That a lot of the inmates, they're actually recovering from COVID. And so when she was taking breakfast, they realized that she always has a smile on her face. And when they asked her, "How are you doing, Graham?" And you know what she says? "Today is the best day of my life." And every day she says that, and she makes it the best day of her life. This is what we need to say to ourselves in the business as well. So get busy with our goal and goal statement, because when you want something, the whole universe will reorder itself to make sure that you will make it. So think big, not small. Can you see this little goldfish? Goldfish, it jumps from one environment to a bigger environment because he's got better things to do in a bigger environment. He's got a better field to work in. We must move from whatever limiting circumstances we're in to go to a bigger environment where our dreams can come true. I'm very amazed, a lot of people, because I have a big organization and many leaders, they would ask me questions. "So Liyen, you're so successful. Tell me, how hard should I work? How many hours should I devote to the business? And how many tickets should I buy to the next convention?" I think even at the recent coring that I did for Market Malaysia, they asked me, "What is the shortcut, Liyen, to be a director, to become a director? What is the fastest way and the easiest way without working too hard?" I'm a little bit sad to say that there's no such thing as a path to success without work. It requires work. But how many hours you want to devote, how many tickets you want to buy for the convention, my question would be this. So Emily, or whatever her name, okay, Emma, let's say her name is, how big an organization, Emma, do you want to have? And what level of success do you want, And how big an organization you want, how many leaders do you hope to have? If you think that if you buy one ticket, if you think you only want to have one leader, and that's how big you want your organization, then I'll say just buy one. Yes, buy one, So your tickets actually, I will talk about that later, how that is your ticket to success. So let me share a story right now, because many of you know that I've got a lot of varied interests. I like to bake, I like to cook, I like to sing, I like to dance. Maybe you're not aware that I also used to love gardening when I had my garden at home. And so I went to a nursery and asked, and I bought 2 pots of small aloe vera that requires repotting into a bigger pot. So when I talked to the nursery owner, I said, I want this plant, how big a pot should I buy? And he was so kind, he scratched his head a little bit. Depends, he says, how big do you want the plants to grow? So with that, I said, I was illuminated, and I said, okay, let me buy big pots, 4 pots, And I went home, I was so enthusiastic, I planted them into the 4 pots, all mini aloe vera. And do you know what happened after 2 summers? Look, actually grew and started bursting the pot because they can grow so big and so strong and so vibrantly if they're given the right nutrients. So what did I do right? I bought the biggest pot I could find, and that has encouraged the growth of the aloe vera. I know when you look at this, this was our recent leadership school, and it's not even exhaustive of my entire organization. Now, you're envious of me because I have a large organization. It is all not about me. It is actually all my leaders, okay, committed leaders building the business to make the success I am, because we contribute towards one another's success. And the success, I would say, is attributed not because of me, but it's because of the number of tickets, because of the commitment they put to the business. So the success is the number of tickets purchased. You can turn your life around. It's all in your hands. Just change your environment, change your life. Buy the tickets, because the tickets represent an education and everybody gets to learn together. And that's interesting, because it's like enrolling for university, but refusing to go for tutorials. You can't be successful. The other thing is that, winners and losers also is very dependent on something else, the friends that you associate with. Somebody says this, show me your friends and I will show you your future. You are who you spend your time with. If someone isn't making you stronger, they are making you weaker. So that's why if you hang around 5 confident people, you will be the 6th. If you hang around 5 intelligent people, you will be the 6th intelligent person. If you hang around 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th millionaire. And if you hang around 5 idiots, you will be the 6th. Do you want that? Not me. So the people that you associate with can determine as much as 95% of your success or your failure. So please take note on who you associate with. And where do you go from here? And where will you be in 5 years? I know where you will be. Your attitude will show me where you will be. So what we need to do is to fill our life with champions, to stay around people who will work their dreams, spend time with the go now people, invest in their success. You heard about the 80-20% rule, the Pareto principle by this Italian economist. It's derived from his name, Pareto. It talks about how we should invest in the people who make sense to you, who are prepared to invest in their own success. No point hanging too much time with the people who are on the 80%, buy tickets. No, maybe not, it's too expensive. You can have whatever reason. So we as leaders also have the prerogative on who we want to spend our time with. We want to spend our time with people who make sense for themselves, who are prepared to invest in their success. So please be that 20%. The company has done a lot of things for us, and even this Master UFO program that has been designed, the blueprint of success by James Ridinger. It's for us, and I'm so thankful that even in Market Singapore, the corporate team makes it a priority that we have this regularly every quarter. So this quarter, my leaders, Michelle, Cindy, and Felicia, decided to embark on this program for the entire field, not just for our teams alone, but for the entire field. And I decided to just hop in because it is a good work and something that will be beneficial for the field. So very thankful that, we have, I got to invite Melanie Nelson, who came to empower us. We also had Tom Holden, who came to teach us about qualifying people. And the next person that and we also have Liyen Chan as well from Hong Kong. And we're going to have different people. And the next one coming up would be Lisa Grant. So we create a system of success for you to follow. Nobody should be left behind. We also have the 90-day fast track program with Kevin Bachman leading us. Ever since he stepped into Asia, he has not stopped work. He has embarked on one 90 day to another 90 day to another 90 day because he wants to see success. So we care for your success. Do you? Do you care for your success? If you do, January or even December will be the start of doing something for yourself. JR says this, the only difference between success and failure is that the successful person is willing to do what the failure is not willing to do. Today, I want to ask you, are you prepared to do what it takes? If you ask me what is the secret for success and I tell you, go buy your 10 tickets, would you believe me? Now, how about stepping out from your comfort zone? You say you don't like public speaking. I never did like makeup as well. What do I know about makeup? I've never even worn makeup before I was in Market Australia. But I remember myself learning makeup course after course after course because I want to know what my leaders are doing. So it takes a lot of effort for you to do what the successful person wants to do, and we need to follow after them. Kevin Bachman talked about how he bought, I think it was 20 tickets, even though he couldn't afford it, but he wanted success. But what happened to the 20 tickets? Did he sell all of them? No, he didn't. He had to eat up some of the tickets. But out of those that he sold, he's got 4 directors that helped to stabilize his income. Would you like to have 4 directors in your organization? It's all up to you. So can we do it? You know, we can, we need to allow it to happen because it doesn't matter when you go into Market America, Lauren Ridinger says, it matters when Market America gets into you. The whole belief system has got to resonate within you. And look at our founders. They had this 1,500 square foot cottage, you know, what can come out of it? How would they even imagine that today it is global company, you know, that's known and with so many operations across the globe? I think they ought to be pretty proud of themselves. So this is what we're talking about. We need to do it now. We need to get hold of our dreams now. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for the right time for you to do business. The secret is to do it as soon as you can. When I saw the business one afternoon, a Tuesday afternoon, I registered within that same day. And the next 2 days, I was already in product training. I attended the first Market Australia convention. I attended the first local seminar by Nina Hale. I didn't take it for granted. I know I deserve the education. And I even traveled to America the very first day to find out whether this business is right for me. So the essence is to do it now. Don't delay if you have a dream. And embrace the times. I know this year has been really, really different from all the other years we had. Now, I want to show you here a picture of me this February 6, 2020. I have never conducted a Zoom training in my entire life. But I got my leaders who come to teach me, and we bought the green screen, we bought the blue Yeti. You know, I didn't know anything about a ring light, and so you can see that, you know, I was so dark, you know, because I didn't know anything about lighting. But from a state of know nothing to where I am, it is because we have decided to embrace the times. And you know what? After that February 6th, every Thursday we were doing coring for the entire team, week after week. And every Monday we're doing a HBPs. We did not allow the times to ruin our dreams and to hinder the momentum that we have started. And and even Charlene is here, you know, and Nicole, everybody came on board to help. You know, Sharon was doing all the beautiful flyers. And look at this, you know, every Saturday we had coring as well. And so the momentum has been built with or without the pandemic. Very proud of this group of this unfranchised owners that I have built from April onwards through Easter time. You know, for 6 months, you know, we're just doing coring after coring, training after training every week. And today, from one person who used to live in Melbourne, and now we have an entire team of around 40 over people. And success was so easy. Within 3 months, I was able to see executive coordinators. And now there must have been 3 coming up to 5 executive coordinators, and coordinators, about 5 or 6 of them as well. Now, all in a span of 6 months, and I've not even met most of them. It is entirely through Zoom. And so this is what we do. We even had a session with Shelley Boy. We even invited Sharon Lawrence to do health training for us, that it's open up to the entire field. So the possibilities are there. So, what is your team culture and what's your purpose? We need to make meaning of our purpose. The story of Jean Valjean and Javert, if we have time, another time, I'm going to share with you how powerful his life mission was and how he changed his world. And Javert, who is the guy after justice, when he couldn't meet his life ambition to meet justice, he had to commit suicide. So that's a story that you can get from Les Miserables. So allow ourselves to be channels of blessing. Just pardon this little typo here. All right. Allow ourselves to be channels of blessing. Change one person, you can change a village. I heard this story of this young monk, all right, when he started out his ministry, what he said was that I'm going to change the entire world. And so he had this big ambition to change the entire world. And then he found that it's not so easy after all to change the entire world as a young man without experience. So what did he do? He said, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change my whole country. Maybe that's a little bit easier to manage. And when he didn't get much results, he said, maybe I should just change the town. And even that was hard. And then he said, maybe I should just change my family. And now age is catching up on him and it still didn't work. There still was no results. So what he said was, maybe I need to change myself first. And when he said that, the realization, dawned on him that that is the secret. If as a young man, he had changed himself first, then he would be able to influence his family, and his family will then influence the town, and the town will then influence the country, and then he could have changed the whole world. He got it all wrong. And so that's the reason why today he doesn't have a name. Even though he lived in 1100 AD, some 1,000 years have transpired and we don't even know his name. So let's change one person before we can change the entire village. Now, in previous years, we've always, my team and I, we love to go to the orphanages, at the year end. And I remember my sister-in-law also loves orphanages. She actually, she married late in life, and so she didn't have any children. So she actually went to the orphanage, and when she looked at all the babies, she didn't know which one to choose. So she brought home one. She says, at least I can make a difference to this one. And the next 2 years, she got another one. And now she has 3 from China. So let's make a difference in our lives. My son and I, we fell in love with Chiang Mai. And so we decided then to invite the entire team to work together with us, to bring smiles to a community that deserves it. All these children in the orphanage. Look at all the happy faces, even Felicia's face, because there's so much joy when you are able to give. And we're able to feed hundreds of people that day, able to perform and sing for them. And we wonder what we are going to do this year locally. So what can we do? COVID season, right? We can't meet anybody, but it is the season of giving. So we never ever say die. So my team, my leaders have identified St. Luke's Hospital, and we've even identified a date, that we're all going to bring our shop.com health products to be able to help to bless the healthcare workers there, as well as the residents there of St. Luke's Community Hospital. So this is our Christmas Blessing Initiative. Life becomes more meaningful when there is a purpose. So don't be pushed by your problems, be led instead by your dreams. Purpose will always find a way. And look here, this is the theme song that was played over our recent convention. You will probably identify it as from the Million Dreams. And the song goes, we can live in a world that we design. So the world that you live is something that you can design. I'm going to end off with a story. I've got it here. It is a pencil. So I have this pencil here, and this is talking about a pencil manufacturer. He was so proud of his workmanship. He says, wow, beautiful, beautiful pencil. Do you want to be the best? Has started talking to the pencil and says, do you want to be the best pencil in the world? Now you can do great things, right? Because so long as you allow yourself to be put in somebody else's hand, you will experience painful sharpening. Yes, as the pencil sharpens, you will then become a more effective pencil, a more functioning pencil. The good thing is you can erase your mistakes. My points disappeared. But I will tell you, it makes you learn. Because I tell my team members, my new team members, when they come crying to me because something went wrong, I say, it's okay. You will learn from the mistakes. The good thing is that you can erase your mistakes. How nice it is. Everything you can actually learn from it. The most important part about making mistakes is not the mistakes you've made, but that you have learned lessons over the mistake. And mistakes only help you to grow. The best part of you is inside you. So what's inside us? I would say it is your attitude. Your attitude is the best part, and that is what is going to make a difference whether you're successful or not successful. And you leave your mark everywhere you touch. Our business is a business of legacy. We touch lives. Every time we meet somebody, we're touching somebody's life. Today, the makeup artist who came to my house, she went home. She had such a happy face. She told me, "你给我希望." She said, "You gave me hope." And I don't know what I said to her within the 1 hour, but she left off it. She said, "Every time I see you, you make me happy." So yes, we leave a legacy, every person we touch. And we can make a powerful legacy when we bless people with a powerful business opportunity that give them time freedom, that give them financial freedom, that give them better health, and they can go about and change the entire world. So today, go make your own mark. I put it into colors for you because you can color the world with all the stories that you've heard today. I hope that gives you inspiration. And with that, let me end this quote here. The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by changing his attitude. With that, let me give my thanks to everyone who has made this possible. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope that you will embrace these lessons and these stories, and I'll see you at the top. Thank you very much. And over to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, this is your time now. Thank you so much for the time.